Hey, it's HAZLETT in my closet studio. Let's talk about the music industry. What's the best way to consume music, to buy and sell music? Why are the big record labels so bad at this? I've got my theories about it. Let's get into it. First of all, full disclosure, I use Apple Music. That's how I listen to music. And it's super convenient. I pay $15 a month for my whole family to have access to all of the music in the world, more or less. And then I augment that with Wikipedia. I'll look up an artist, see their discography. If I'm really interested in them and they're a new artist, I want to learn about them. That's where I go to learn about them, their history, whatever. So what about you? How do you listen to music? I'd be interested to hear. I know lots of people use other streaming services. Obviously, Spotify is the big one. YouTube, whatever. Do you use a streaming service? And do you use anything else with that? Do you look up the artist website, or do you use Wikipedia as well? I'd be interested to find out. I know artist websites usually suck, so I don't generally go to them. Don't know what it's going to be like. Some suck, some don't. And so I just go to Wikipedia. I know exactly what it's going to look like every time. Okay, so if we're using a streaming service, where does the money that I pay monthly go? Who gets that money? It's a good question. I don't know the answer to it. If you know the answer, please let me know. I have music available through these streaming services, and people listen to the music sometimes. Not very many, but some do. And I know that when I get a stream on Spotify, that I get paid a fraction of a cent per stream, not very much. So I don't know how many songs I stream on a monthly basis, but I'm pretty sure that the $15 I pay for my entire family just for a month does not mostly go to the artists that we listen to. I'm pretty sure most of it goes to Apple. Yeah, goes to Apple. I think I heard somewhere that Apple or Spotify made some deal with a big label to get their catalogs to streaming services, where they just did like a upfront payment of whatever, millions of dollars. But I don't know. If you know, let me know. I don't have anything to back that up. That's just, I can't even remember where I heard that. Take it with a grain of salt. What's true though is that the artist doesn't make a lot of money per stream, period. They don't get very much. How did this happen that artists to be basically giving away their music? It's all Napster's fault, right? Wait, is it Napster's fault or was it CDRs? Because then you could just burn any music and it was free. Or is it tapes? Because tapes you could just record off the radio or record from a CD, from your buddy's CD, from your buddy's tape, and then you had it for free and is pirating. That's what the music industry always seems to think. A new format comes out and they fight it as hard as they can, and then they lose. And I think that's because of just the economics of the situation. If you're trying to sell something for too high of a price, but people really want it, but you're trying to sell it for more than it's worth, they will find another way to get it. And that's what happened with music, right? But now I pay for my music. I don't pirate any music. It's way easier just to pay $15 a month and my whole family gets access to all the music in the world. So people aren't really willing to pay for the music so much, but they're willing to pay for the format or the service that kind of brings all the music together. And the music industry missed the boat on that. The big labels could have got together and made their own thing, but they were so busy fighting Napster in court and anyone else that they could sue, being led by Metallica, right? Just sue those guys. Take it to the teenagers who are trying to listen to your music. They're so busy suing everyone that they missed the point and missed the boat. Like there should be right now, like there's this company called United Artists. United Artists should have been formed a long time ago and should have started their own streaming service where they were able to keep a lot of the profits, distribute the money to their artists. But they didn't, so they lost again. So I actually just listened to a really good podcast episode about this on Creative Juice, which is a podcast I've been listening to lately. The link's in below, and they give a really good overview of how the music industry doesn't really know what they're doing. How do the big labels market? They throw a ton of money, right? Like they find the next Justin Bieber. They pump a bunch of money into getting their music on radio because, yes, like payola or paying to play on the radio, it's still a thing that happens, apparently. And they promote it. They put big billboards up on Sunset Boulevard or wherever else they can put boards up. Hope that somebody loves the stuff that they're pushing. And they do. Some get super wealthy and super famous, but it's a total crapshoot because they don't nurture their market. Like, you go and experience commerce anywhere else and the person that's trying to sell you something nurtures you, builds a relationship with you, and then helps you see value in what they're offering, and then you willingly buy it. The music industry doesn't really do that. They don't really focus on nurturing relationships with their customers. And I think that's really the reason that they have such a big problem and they're not very profitable. I think it's a pretty arrogant approach. It's kind of like, well, I don't really care about you. I don't care who you are or whatever. I've got what you want, you're going to come to me to get it, and you're going to pay for it. It's a bad approach. What this does is it creates a pretty high barrier to entry for anyone who's not discovered or signed. So someone like me, I make music because I love making music, and I do it all myself here in my closet studio. I can't compete with the big labels, right? I can't spend $1 million on advertising, let alone multi-million dollars. So I'm kind of out of luck. Yeah, I can put music out on the internet, but I've tried that. And it turns out if you don't tell anybody that it's there, nobody knows it's there and nobody listens, which I think is a shame because I did this musicology class back in university, and one of the interesting things I learned there was in more primitive cultures, everyone's working to survive. There's no time to have specialists that only make art. They all have to be farmers, or they all have to be hunters. But that means everybody is also a musician. Everybody also dances and sings, and that's a part of their natural expression of who they are and of their culture. When they reach a certain level of development, there start to be specialists. Only the really talented ones become singers, musicians, artists, dancers, what have you. I think that's too bad because that's a huge part of human expression that we generally suppress. I don't really dance because I can't dance. Obviously, I could express myself through dance. It's just not going to look that aesthetically pleasing to other people. And so it's kind of embarrassing. And so I don't dance. And that's the same for some people for singing or playing an instrument or anything like that. They're not very good at it, so they don't do it, and they don't develop the talent, and they don't participate in expressing themselves artistically that way. I think it's a shame. Anyways, so who cares about all this? What does the ideal business model look like then for a musician, songwriter, whatever? Well, if you take a musician like me, I have a real life. I have a real job. I have kids. I can't just leave and go on a tour across Canada or across North America playing bars, selling t-shirts to make money. So how can I get my music out, and how can I get people to participate with my art? I still want to connect with people. I'm making music that I think is really great, and I want to share it with people and find people that enjoy that and that connect with it. So how can I make money doing that? Well, the music is like a loss leader. I can't sell it. People don't see value in songs. That's fine. As someone who listens to music, I understand that. So I can't charge for downloads. I mean, I could try, but then what do you do with the song you downloaded? Where do you listen to it? I'll use the matching service that Apple has, so I could actually do that and it would sync with my library, but not a lot of people do that, I don't think. Where would you listen to the song that you download? That's weird. So yeah, that's not really a cool thing to sell a download. What about, you remember the way that people used to listen to music? I don't know if you do or if you're old enough like I am, or older than me. You would go and you'd buy something. You take it home, open it up, pull it out. There's that new CD smell. You know what it is if you've ever bought a CD. You open it up, you put the CD in the stereo, you play it, and often I would go through and read the lyrics for each song, go through the credits, and read everything that was in that booklet that the artist was selling with the CD. And that was as much a part of the experience as listening to the actual songs was. And I think that's missing today. That's why I go to places like Wikipedia to augment the listening experience of the music. It'd be cool if artists tried to do that today, because you totally could. In fact, that's what I'm going to be trying to do in the coming months is I'm going to try releasing music online in a kind of experience where you get a different song each day and you learn about the background of the song, maybe some behind the scenes stuff. You see the lyrics, this type of thing. You can download high quality files if you want, or you can just go listen to it on the website, see the music video, this type of thing. And so you're welcome to follow along as I build this experience for my next album. You can go ahead and click the link below here to join my mailing list if you want to be included in that and get updates as I work towards that. So if something like that is executed well, then, and you really feel as a listener that you're part of the experience of creating the album, or you're you get some kind of emotional connection to the music, then there's a chance that you might want to buy something. That's why we buy t-shirts at a concert, because we had this experience where we participated with the band and all the other users, or all the other listeners, concert goers, and we buy a shirt that has the tour dates on the back to show that we were part of that tour, we were part of that cohort of people. And so I think there's a situation that creates value where there's something that people would want to buy to participate in. Music has been used to sell stuff for years, right? That's what radio is. Radio is just a big advertisement for products people want to sell, right? Like the only way radio stations survive is by selling advertising, and they sell that advertising by playing music. So the music really just sells ads. That's the whole point of it. Radio is just selling advertising. And so why not use your own music to sell your own products? Anyways, I don't really know what the answer is. I'm going to give this a shot and see how it goes. And I'm excited to give it a shot. I'm excited to try. So what do you think? Do you have any ideas for how musicians today can build a viable business? Is that something that interests you? What would you be willing to pay for to experience somebody's art? What would you pay for from your favorite musician, or your not favorite musician, but somebody you like? Let me know. Drop a comment below. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see more content like this, like the video, and of course, subscribe if you want to be notified when I upload new content. Thanks for watching. See you later.
Fake freedom flows from your face.